face of the human being looking at the horizon, looking at the tree, and thinking, and all of this is what art is. Most of the time what we think of as art is not art, it's something else, it's decoration, it's aesthetic, it's nice, it's nice. You know, I think I said the last time I was talking about this thing when I was talking about the kind of what the horticultural architect calls a ha-ha. You know, it's a kind of a wall that isn't a wall, which is kind of something that breaks the manicured gardens of a house from the wilderness, and it kind of blends in, and you don't know, but it is a wall, and effectively creates a barrier. And in a way, that's what we've invited art. You know, the arts. You know, when people talk about the arts, the arts, the arts, the arts. I love the arts. Do you like the arts? I don't like the arts at all. I think it's bollocks. Art is not the arts. Art is something to see beyond what man has made himself, to see what is real behind everything. And Gary does that extraordinarily well. He is the real thing. That's the thing. He's the real thing. You know, I could go on about this. You know, the town, the whole sort of sense of the directions. You know, the way that he mixes this wilderness with the constructed three-dimensional reality that we can understand because we have reduced it into what we can name: streets, pavements. You know, another part of his work, it seems, where he breaks up pavements and turns them into other stuff. It's incredible. I mean, and you know, I don't want to insult him. I actually don't think he knows what he's doing at all. You know? He hasn't the faintest idea what he's doing. You know? And he's lucky that he has me here to explain it all. I should be paid by the artistic community to come around and tell everybody what they're all about. But this is fantastic. This is fantastic work. I don't consider myself a critic. You know, I want to deliver my greatest line ever now. A critic is a clamper who can't drive. I'm not a critic. I have no interest in criticism of this. You know, the idea of criticizing this is nonsense. You can't criticize this. You can only look at it in with the wonder that it is, with the wonder that it expresses about what is real, that it looks to the horizon that we all must look to, and makes it visible to us again behind the clutter that we have constructed to block our vision. You know, that's the thing. That Gary does, and that's what makes him a great artist. And I hope I'm here for these, whatever the next one is, or the one after. Well, thank you.
Now I have another treat in store for you. Another fan, indeed, of Gary, though he mightn't recognise the word too well. Mr. John Kingerley. John, you might like to say a word or two about your friend Gary.
I would. John's a very hard act to follow. Well, and I agree with so much of what you said. I don't think a really great artist does know what he's doing. He's got a clue of a direction. But in the end he doesn't know, and how can he anyway if half of the picture has to be seen by the person who's looking at it. It's a joint piece of work. The audience is to cooperate with the artist. And if the audience sees something that the artist has never seen, wonderful, wonderful. How generous. And I think that which is generous has given Gary great gifts, great pictures, and hopefully become one of Ireland's great painters.
Good man.
And the artist is in a strange place at this time, because as I perceive the situation, we're living in a civilization that is crashing down around our ears. We are at the end of something. We've gone the full cycle. We're the children of the Greeks and the Romans, and the inspiration has run out. The dialectic by which America and Europe lives is finished, it offers nothing to its children except go out and be a good shopper, my son. How awful. Yeah. Yeah. Democracy means now governance by bank and nothing else. The politicians work for the banks, and possibly 20, 25 families are running the whole scenario, and all they care about is making money. We have now companies selling seeds to peasants that are genetically engineered so that after 2 years they will not germinate. So these people who grow food have to go back to these financial companies to buy new seeds. The destructiveness has reached that point. And the waters are rising, etc., etc., etc. And part of the greatness of what Gary is giving us is we have to step in and do your own thing with the pictures. And the time is coming when we'll all have to do our own thing, in a sense, like nobody's going to tell us what to do. We have to get in there and do it ourselves. And also the painter, the writer, the true artist is amongst the people who speak truthfully at this time. Political correctness has become a monstrous burden, and one has to be a bit careful about what one says. And within public discussion, certain subjects are not permitted. I'd say the basic evil of our time is lending money on interest. Money's like apples. When you've eaten your apple, you've eaten it. You spent your money, you spent it. You don't rent out apples. You don't rent out money. And the bottom line of earthly guidance in Islam, even though it's been corrupted, is no lending money on interest. After saying that life has no meaning, the worst thing you can do, much worse than somebody killing everybody in this room, is to lend money on interest. It guarantees the deaths of millions of people. Hitler takes 5 or 6 years to kill 6 million gypsies, Jews, mentally handicapped people. The system we're running can kill 20 million people from hunger in 12 months. Acts of terrorism are no good, but we have to look at what's going on. Thanks for the pictures, and thank you.
I hope you were recording that in some way, because John, I mean, is a true believer, because I've been listening to him for a couple of times now. And you came down to Kilreilly, didn't you? And crossed from Beara. He's now somewhere else, or nearby. And I think, John, you were down there. Right. And so is Gary. And I know some of you in the room know Kilreilly and know that little haven that we have managed to keep. And of course, we're hopefully going to use here to spread the word about Kilreilly. And you know, it's extraordinary to think that we can attract, you know, this year Kiki Smith, one of the great artists in the world, to come to Kilreilly, get her own expense and fly in and say, hey, do you want me to do a 2-day workshop for printmaking artists? I'd love to see your work in printmaking. And people in Marion Square, there might be some here, I don't know, just don't know that this is happening. Because that's why I'm linking into what John was saying there, the two Johns. You know, that many, many important things happen in the most absolute, remote areas of the world, and everybody thinks everything happens in the centre, but it's often actually really happening right out on the edge. So, by the way, I want to invite you back again to Kingerley, Gary. And you had some good time down there, but I know, of course, there are not many trees down there. So it's a little different, I suppose. But I do think, as John says, this will be a great, well-known painter in years to come. And some of those paintings, I'm sorry for the commercial, are very cheap on the walls, and I know I have my eye on one or two of them, but I would bank on them. Thank you. Thank you very much. Gary would like to say a word of thanks to you all for coming.
That's pretty much it, really. I just want to say thank you very much. It means an awful lot to me for people to make the effort to get here on a wet Wednesday night. I'm very grateful to it, and I hope you enjoy the work. Thank you very much.
Thank you.